It's an album feature
Mm.
because, as far as I know, we've done Weekend Dance and Trespass.
Yes.
Okay, good. Then it's been just Peter Gabriel
it's
stuff.
It's two ends, and then this middle. We're doing that.
True.
Welcome to Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast.
Well, me and Virgil, we beat the desert, riding fast and riding hard. We hit the city, the past behind us, so we raised some hell. We had some fun, washing dishes and making coffee.
And we're back once again with a new episode. How are you doing, Dan, aka Me and?
Oh, I like that. I did good. Good to be back again.
Mm-hmm.
Third recording in less than a month. Getting busy. Well, again, we have to thank good old Peter for that too.
We're
so.
doing good for the year, and we want to be doing this. We have the time. We're making the time to have this record and do all these things now. So we want it to be a busy year. Plus, we got to keep on our schedule because we've got another Peter Gabriel song coming out, and so we've got to be on it. But that's not what well, Peter Gabriel will be involved today in what we're talking about. But we're talking about
Very
this
heavily,
little, tiny, little, small album called "The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway."
And the lamb lies down on Broadway. Get me out of the cage. Now they said all the strong as leaves and lay them like butter cheese. Lay them down butter cheese. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out.
So, obviously, it's not a little, small, tiny album. It's a massive double album, concept album, all this big lump of story and music, and we're going to talk about it with you guys tonight.
We're gonna talk about the whole thing. Gonna discuss the whole thing with you tonight.
We've written a big lump of story and music, and we'd like to play the whole thing for you tonight.
No, not the whole thing. Well, Peter did, but we're not going to. We're going to break it up a little because we don't want to be sitting here for 5 hours or whatever it's going to take to do that. So the plan right now is to break it up into 3 episodes. This first episode, we'll be talking about the making of the album, and then the first disc, the first LP of the album, side 1 and side 2. As you might have noticed from the name of the episode, it's From the Lamb to the Chamber.
This chamber.
And then after that,
Cue
it'll be with our
logo
next
music.
episode. Just make sure I get it right. From Lily White to It. Which you can guess what that's going to be about. And then our final episode, we'll be talking about the actual 50th anniversary and the 50th anniversary box set and all that, called From the Shrine to the Box Set.
Good evening. Hello.
So lots of Lamb stuff to look forward to. I wanted to start off as we try to dig into this mountain of music and story and weight that is the Lamb in the Genesis history. What is it about the Lamb? I was thinking as we were starting to prepare for this episode and what I was going to write down and stuff, and we've had our favorite songs, our top 5 songs. We've had our top 5 albums. We've shared lots about our favorite things with Genesis and what we love about them and all that stuff. And we haven't had the Lamb really anywhere in there, or songs on the Lamb really anywhere in there. And I was thinking, why is that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because it's a big, messy thing almost, but also it's its own thing. I really feel it's a unique album in the Genesis history, almost like it's a separate tangent from everything else that you can pull out and keep in a way. I guess a bit like The Wall, maybe in some ways is like that a bit, but I feel like just with the Genesis, it's like I really feel there's like nothing before it and nothing after it that you really you can do little comparisons, but overall, album by album and stuff like that, they really don't. I wouldn't say it's like from a different album, a different band. I mean, but it's like the band went to a new place that they never came back to again by doing The Lamb. What do you think?
Yeah, I reckon just because it's not just musically speaking, but personally as well, because this was a very unusual time for the band, I would say. I mean, this was, first of all, a very different approach for them to take, because I was reading articles up these as well, and let me just quickly pull my notes out here from my phone, which has now gone to sleep. I think just because they felt they were confident enough to take this next step in their musical path, because they did the big step with Trespass by going away from their original record label from Jonathan King, the pop label, to say, no, we want to branch out on our own. We're songwriters, we want to see where we can explore. Then, of course, came the new stages with the new musicians in the band, with Phil and with Steve. Then, of course, the very next album, we get this 23-minute opus known as Supper's Ready. And then, of course, comes Selling England with just these unbelievable timeless classics that come out of there. So it's just like, well, what's the next step for us to take? Where can we go from here? And so then, as I noted down here, so the band decided to produce a double album before they had agreed on its contents or direction. So Tony Banks, thought they had gained a strong enough following by this point to put out 2 albums worth of material that their fans would be willing to listen to. And Peter Gabriel considered a double album as a logical extension to the group's output. They had wanted to produce a concept album that told a story for some time. There are some other things too, but I'll go to that later on. So that's already a brand new approach for them. Very brand new approach. So that's already quite a different thing. And of course, then Peter having in his way saying, like, a bit like with Roger Waters and his Wall album, where he did bring that album to Pink Floyd, saying, I've got this idea for an album. And he basically had produced an entire demo for the album, entire thing. So, and I
just real quick to mention, if we hear any thumping in the background, it is bucketing down where me is. So that if you hear any thumping in the background, it's the rain sound. It's not someone typing away nearby.
Rain. No, yes, apologies for that. Absolutely chucking it down outside.
Well, you can't control the rain
on the windowsill here. So no, sadly not. Yeah, so with Peter, he wanted to take on the approach saying, I've got this idea for the album, so it would only make sense that I should take care of the lyrics and write all the lyrics for the album too. So everything's already quite brand new here for the band. And of course, Peter, as well, whether you know this or not, and we're going to talk about this too later on, that he did go through some really majorly personal,
big personal life stuff,
to the point almost disasters in his life and everything, and big, very heavy, pressurizing stuff that even a full-grown adult would have trouble going through, and yet he's only 25 at this point. Actually, sorry, no, 24. 24, this kid, this guy is. So, well, it's the 70s, right? People just want to grow up so faster back then.
Growing up.
I was say too that I was just thinking, because they've got 3 big solid albums under their belt, and also I heard this recently on that new Phil Collins Eras podcast, that the Selling England by the Pound album, I think, was the first time they charted in the UK, and at this point I think they're actually starting to make some real money. I mean, I would say not huge money or anything, but actually making some money and be successful as a band and stuff. So they don't have those pressures quite the same way, maybe, to try and just be free and want to do something totally different. And I feel too, they've kind of, I mean, you can hear it with the progression of each album, how they're getting better and working together more cohesively as a group. That it feels like this is kind of a crescendo almost of they're at their best at this point, and this is what they're going to make.
Yeah.
And yes, you can say, oh, well, they should have been more, there should have been everyone doing the writing and stuff like that, which, had been done. Though, again, you say it has been done in previous songs and albums, which is more like not necessarily true because Phil was never really writing. I mean, he did a little bit on Trick of the Tail, but it really wasn't till like I think Duke really that he was actually writing songs as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think the similar with Steve too. He was only contributing little bits and things like that, but not as much as he probably would have wanted. So you have this unusual setup with Peter saying, let me do all the lyrics and stuff, which is like, oh, maybe that's not going to be a good thing, but it's also like, give it a try and see what happens. And the lamb is the result, which is just something that wouldn't have happened that way.
No. And I think either way, I think this was something that just had to come out from Peter anyway. I feel like this oozing of songwriting, especially lyrically, because he's obviously shown it in so many ways in previous songs, such as like In Even Supper's Ready with Willow's Farm and The Battle of Epping Forest, songs where the band almost couldn't get the guy to shut up with his lyrics because he just had so much to come out of it. So and then obviously, as we know, that's the story goes where that the band, that obviously then we start to see a little bit of a breakaway with the band where Peter is in one room writing the words and the other band are just like, well, then let's just come up with some music. Hence why, I mean, again, it is a concept album. It's a double album. So there is a decent amount of instrumental material on this, and not just solo pieces in the songs which have lyrics, but also actual full instrumental pieces of instrumental tracks,
like interludes, interstitial bits. Yeah.
Well, not just that, but just full-on songs, which we will go into as well, which are full instrumental pieces, and these are the results of the bands that are actually doing that. Along with,
I mean, really, if you think about it, there's Horizons, and then there's not really another instrumental song ever that they've done, except for like
After the Ordeal on Selling In, for example, which is more like a jammy thing.
But it's almost like more like if you go back to From Genesis to Revelation, there you have these little bits in between, which are kind of fun and stuff, which I feel they pulled a little bit from with here, So they kind of critics and how the band looked, like the band looks differently on the album. They're not all the same, thinking it's a fantastic album. Some like it, some like less know. Some call it a flawed experiment. Some call it a career highlight, a prog masterpiece, a weirdly prescient precursor to punk, which I would kind of agree with too. It was pushing boundaries, I feel, in every way. I mean, and maybe having Peter in that other room, as opposed to always being with them as they have done with previous albums, gave them the rest of the band of different freedom that they didn't have before to just experiment by themselves. Maybe. Perhaps
a little sort of like glimpse into the future of what could be, which is exactly how they ended up, right? That lineup in that room ended up becoming the future of Genesis. Little did we know at the time, of course.
Yep. So, So this is the little bit about the album. So after the Selling In by the Pound tour, they booked 3 months at a place called Headley Grange, starting in June 1974. Apparently, when they got there, it was in horrible condition. As I was reading on this, the band that was there previously, Pretty Things, had thoroughly trashed the place, and they had to clean it all up. There's a quote from Phil. I can't remember if this is in the. I'm taking notes from the wiki, but also from the actual booklet story that's in the box set. But Phil said this: there were rats. There were hundreds of them at Headley Grange. At night, when you went to bed, you could hear this scratching from above and below you. And as you went down for breakfast, they would walk across the hall, stop and look at you, then carry on walking.
Yeah, that's right. As if to say good morning.
Apparently there was like feces, I think not just rat feces, but possibly human feces they had to clean up, all this stuff. Yeah.
Didn't they invite their families with them too?
I didn't see anything about that.
I thought
maybe they probably came to visit
at
some point and things like that. Well, that's the other different dynamic is you have Phil and Peter are both married at this point, whereas I don't think the other members were yet. And they both had kids. Like I think Phil had his first kid.
Yeah.
And then Peter had a very difficult birth with their kid too, which had just kind of happened around the same time. Yeah. I got a quote here from Hackett when they were approaching the album. He said, "Everybody had their own agenda. Some of us were married. Some of us had children. Some of us were getting divorced." I don't know who that was. Maybe there was. I didn't see who it was. And we were still trying to get it together in the country. Originally, I guess, before they decided on Peter's idea, that Michael Rutherford had come with an idea about the Little Prince, Le Petit Prince, which is a little children's story, fantasy story kind of. But Gabriel didn't like it. And he basically just kept pushing his rail story, which was inspired by Pilgrim's Progress, the works of Carl Jung, the psychologist, and the surreal Western film El Topo, plus settings derived from his own dreams, which sounds so Peter. I think he still does that.
Yes. Well, I got some extended notes on that as well about more reasons to why Gabriel vetoed the Little Prince idea, saying that Peter thought it was too twee and believed prancing around in fairyland was rapidly becoming obsolete. And also, he spoke of the band's desire to present an entirely new stage act and make a radical change for their new album. Which makes sense, because they have explained a lot about this fantasy land and everything with previous tracks like Fountain of Salmacis.
What we say? We say it's rural and and country and that kind of stuff.
Well, and again, a lot of those previous songs of theirs, they all come from books. So I think just Peter wanted to create something absolutely brand new that just did not exist yet, even though he does base it off of these books. So
yeah. So he presented a surreal story about Rail. A troubled and rebellious youth who is unexpectedly taken on a journey of self-discovery and identity as he encounters a series of bizarre incidents and characters. He first thought of it during Rang's previous American tour and pitched it as a synopsis to his bandmates until they agreed to pursue it. So he's had it kind of bouncing around in his head for a while,
Yep.
Which naturally then that means he wants to write all the lyrics, and you're kind of like, we're not going to touch. That's why I feel if he had presented this as a group effort that we're going to write these songs together, I don't think it would have worked, because they wouldn't have been able to agree on, it's like 10 or 5 authors trying to write one book. It's not really going to work well.
Especially if you have this solid idea, and it's going to be completely from a first person's perspective as well, which it is.
Solid idea. I mean, it doesn't make perfect sense, which we'll go into and try to see if we can work out what's going on with each song, because there's some weird stuff in here, in case you ever noticed.
Yes. Well, I tell you what, if I may as well, we are going to eventually get to the album in any second now. But I was going to leave this until the very end. But actually, I'm going to just throw this in, not the whole time, but every now and then. Where it kind of came to me last night. I thought, well, you know what? As a little, not just to add a bit of trivia, perhaps to those who don't know it, but also a little bit of a quiz to throw your way, Virgil. Everything. So, first of all, just quickly talking about that. Actually, you already ruined one of the questions when I said, like, oh, was this for the next idea for the album? Was the Lamb idea the only idea that the band had come up with? And of course, there was going to be like, well, no, Mike Rutherford had the Little Prince idea. So, and then of course, I had a little section here saying, well, first of all, Headley Grange, as you said, what was the band that had worked there previously?
Pretty Things.
What are they called?
Yeah.
Pretty Things. Okay, so what famous band had also recorded many albums there as well?
Was it Led Zeppelin?
Where the... Yes, correct. Led Zeppelin used that. There's that space, not just to record, but also to rehearse.
And years
okay,
later,
one more thing
apparently that's Phil's favorite band, by the way, because he saw them.
Yes.
He actually said he saw Led Zeppelin's first ever gig in London when it was some interview. And the guy's like, "Oh, come on, stop showing up." And then later on, Phil would do a lot of stuff with Robert Plant.
Yes, producing his albums, etc. So one more thing before we then move into the album then. So a little true or false question then. As we're saying that Peter wrote the whole album then, so is it true then that Peter Gabriel wrote 100% of the lyrics?
No, because I have this in my notes too.
Ah.
The little
All
song towards the end of the second LP, The Light Lies Down on Broadway. Peter was basically
Right, yeah.
running out of time, and they were coming towards a deadline, and he needed something done. And Mike and Tony wrote that one to The Light
Mike and
Lies
Tony
Down.
wrote
So
it,
it's
yeah.
not totally those.
And I didn't know this about according to Wiki anyway, that Banks and Hackett suggested lyrics that they thought would fit for the Lamia and Here Comes the Supernatural Antithesis.
I think there was
respectively,
probably a bit,
which
because again, he was probably like some stuff he was getting down, but then he was rushing to get some stuff, and they were probably suggesting
Yeah.
some ideas. And
yeah, but those ideas were by Peter rebuffed.
as usual. No.
Okay.
Can I
No.
change the? Can you change the structure of the song? No.
No.
Put it in there, Dad.
No.
Put them in the. Put the
Yeah.
clip in there from Peter saying.
Show us
No.
your beautiful teeth, Peter.
I did want to talk about, because we were before how whether it's set up before the album, how with Peter coming into it, they had their first child, which was a very difficult pregnancy, so that's part of his mind is on that. The other thing we haven't talked about is that the director William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist, I believe,
Correct.
and a very well-known director and stuff like that, he wanted to work with Peter, and I think Peter got
Yes.
very excited about it. And I mean, we kind of know this with Peter. Anything kind of new and different idea, he really jumps on or whatever. And it was really to the point where he says, "I want to do this," and kind of ignored the album that they were currently working
Yep.
on. I'm not sure exactly when in the timeline this was happening, but to the point where he said, "Oh, I'll just leave the band and we'll go do this thing because I really want to do this thing with you." And Friedkin was like, "Hang on, I don't want to
yes.
break up Genesis for this." And then
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I think it was Tony Smith got involved and was just like smoothing things out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was very fraught. And then I have this quote from Hackett saying, "We were very happy to have him back, but I was aware there was a difference, that there was a schism. We were now built on a fault line," which I feel adds another element to the
Well,
making the
it
album.
reminds me that there's that Phil is quoted in the Genesis history documentary where the Friedkin's timeline thing came up as well, and he presented it to the band, and Phil said, "Well, we all got very like upfront about it, saying like, well, no, you either do that or you do this."
Exactly.
And it just it reminds me a little bit of the Team America, where your hero is presented with the big death-defying mission and saying like, "If you don't want to do this, Gary, there's the door." And he's like, "All right then," and just walks out the door. And it's a bit like what Peter does too. It's like, we either do that or do this.
Or a bit like
All right,
earlier
I'll do-
days of
I'll do
Genesis,
this.
when one of them would storm off and Phil would be like, "What just bloody happened?"
Yeah, you stole my pen back in sixth grade, and everything. Yeah.
So just to go on a few other details, and then we'll jump into the album. So they recorded there, or they jammed there, worked there for 3 months, and then they relocated to Glasspont Manor in Capel Iwan, Carmarthenshire in Wales, between August and October of
Yes.
74 to actually record it. They used the Island Studios mobile facility there. They used a mobile facility that was parked outside because it apparently
Yes.
allowed them to put takes quickly, which kept the material fresh. Gabriel, as we know, experimented with different vocal effects by recording takes in a bathroom and in a cowshed located 2 miles away.
I
Trying all these
didn't know
different
that.
things. Much of the music developed through band improvisations and mood-inspired jams, often after one member said a single idea and then they just kind of jam over it and stuff. Examples
Yep.
of this were Banks described a Chinese jam, which ended up sharing a track with the colony of Slippermen. One was named Victory at Sea, which was worked into the Silent Sorrow in Empty Boats. And then, of course, there's the infamous Evil Jam, which became The Waiting Room.
The Waiting Room. Correct.
Hackett said about the album, extraordinary keyboard work on a collision course with the vocals, where it really seems you've got one crowded street intersecting with another. He really has a way of putting things together, Hackett does.
Oh, I love his way of speaking and writing, yeah.
And then I really like this one from Rutherford, talking about making the album. There were always tensions. We were 5 young men, all very intense. And in those days, I'm very conscious that if you weren't sure about something, you'd never say, I don't know, what do you guys think? It was always, I'm right. This is the best way to do it. You push your causes, whereas later on, as you get older, you don't have to prove anything. There were just a lot of people full of a lot of notes being bunged on the record. Too many notes, maybe. They're all fantastic. Every time Phil played, Steve played, everyone played. They were all really great parts. I love them all. I think a producer might have said, let's not put that bit there. And that might have been better for us, but we never really had a producer, so it didn't work that way. But that was part of a stage of our lives. And I love the way when you try and be brave, it doesn't always work. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. So it was a really nice thing to say. Really sums it up well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Are we ready to jump
Totally.
into The Lamb?
I believe we are. Yes.
We begin with the title song of the album, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Nighttime flyers feel their veins. Drugstore takes down the chains. Metal motion comes in bursts. The gas station can quench that thirst. Suspension cracked on a main road. The truckers eyes read overload. Back out of the subway. Exits in the daylight, spray your head. The lamb lies down on Broadway.
So what do you think of the song?
Well, it's a funny thing. First of all, the very first time that we ever heard this song was in a certain piece of music called Old Medley that Genesis performed on the Weekend Dance Tour in 1992.
Lies down, 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 down on Broadway. Early morning Manhattan, ocean wind was blowing off the land. Movie palaces now undone. The all-night watchmen have had their fun. Sleeping cheaply on the midnight show. It's the same old ending. It's time to go. Get out! It seems they cannot leave their dream. There's something moving in the sidewalk steam. And the lamb lies down, 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 down on Broadway.
That's the first time we ever heard this, because we were only familiar with just the Weekend Dance and Material and perhaps Visible Touch at that time, way back then, 1992. So obviously this song immediately had this sort of nostalgic effect, like, oh, it's that song, but sung by this original singer, Peter. Yeah, now we get the full shebang about it. Well, I mean, there could not have been a better opener to the album, and this song definitely could not have fitted anywhere else on the album. Of course, lyrically though, it's a bit like the musical. It's just like the epilogue. The curtain opens, the dancers.
Right, oh, no, it's like the
chorus
overture,
comes
you would say,
out.
yeah. Yeah.
The overture, sorry, that's the one. What I call epilogue.
Yeah.
Completely opposite word. Yeah, the overture. This is the overture to the album. The curtain opens
That
and you can
is
hear the
not
crowd
it.
singing, and the lamb. It's not it, no. It's a wonderful beginning to an album. Fantastic. I still don't really know to this day what the lamb is supposed to represent to me. Even though I actually watched last night, someone's got a YouTube video out there which we'll definitely send a note for. They have the original mix, plus with all the original slideshows as well.
That's cool.
So yeah, so it actually shows it, and you actually show like a big shot of the big city there, and then it's a picture of this lamb just slam right, just crossfades into slowly fades into the middle there. Literally a lamb.
There
just
might
sitting
be,
down.
I think I've got it saved somewhere. The Musical Box doing the Lamb show from the 90s or something like that too. I think that's on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
But yes, apparently it came from a group improvisation sparked by Rutherford's idea of Egyptian pharaohs going down the Nile, which Hackett compared to Maurice Ravel's Bolero. I don't know if you know that one, but it's a thing that slowly builds and builds and builds. Banks described the part where the entire band comes in. Oh no, wait, I mixed up my notes there. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the wrong notes. Ignore everything I just said.
Yeah,
Dad, cut this.
I know which song. I know which song you're talking about there. Yes.
Went too far down.
The only thing that we didn't rehearse for the stories, and that was actually the wrong story. Thank you, Phil.
That's how nerdy I am. Yeah.
Apparently, this is the last song that school friends Bank and Gabriel wrote together while Gabriel was in the group. Although Gabriel maintained that he only wrote the lyrics. Banks had to cross his hands to play over the. I think I meant that way. To play the piano introduction, which was an unusual sequence of notes. The song borrows music and lyrics from "On Broadway," which is by the Drifters.
Mm-hmm.
I guess exactly. That's the thing. They're saying the lights, so maybe Peter wanted to go with an L word, and instead of lights, he went with lamb.
The lamb.
This is another one-syllable word. I think probably runners up were like lick, lump, lamp.
slimy lumps. Yes. Well, actually, I'm just. You sent me this a long time ago, where it was something you found online, which was complete 100% Genesis writing credits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you remember that, yes. So I'm just jumping on it now, and here, according to this source, Tony Banks on the Lamb, Tony Banks chords, Peter lyrics and melodies.
Just some of the music. There you go. Yeah. I was thinking it reminded me.
I'll keep this at bay.
Of Firth of Fifth, just starting out with the piano. I love that it's piano and not. I mean, obviously, when you heard it live, it was a keyboard sound a bit more, but I love the piano sound because it's just a much stronger, deeper sound.
Yes.
I mean, it's a great. I would say it's a great opening song. But then you look at Genesis; they have a lot of great opening songs. They're over good at that.
And it's a very different beginning, because if we jump back, the previous album we've got Dancing with the Moon at Night, where we start with Peter and sort of like guitars and very folky, old English vibe and everything. And the next thing we just got this piano, instant massive transition. And you're just thinking like, okay, where is this going to be taking us? Where is this going? And instantly the sound is very, very different. We're no longer... instantly when you get the album itself, it's like Broadway. It's like, oh, okay, so we're going away from England now. We're crossing the shores onto this part of the world now. Something completely different, which
new
again
lands.
is what they wanted to do. Yeah, yeah.
New territory.
And of course, they're already familiar with it themselves. It's not like they're just writing from fantasy. They have toured the States.
Exactly.
They began as early as
they're relatively well known
1972. They were 1972. I think they hit New York City and were touring there and everything. So they are writing from personal experience.
I wonder if just like the way the opening is with the song and everything, if they always knew this was going to be the first song on the album, or if it was a case of like when Tony was writing it, Tony was thinking, all right, I'm going to make this the opening song. Because it sounds like such an opener where it slowly comes in and like a show, you're being introduced to this show, welcomed in. Yeah.
Completely. 100%.
I really feel also, like we could have said already, it sets the stage for what you're going to get with the album. This is Rail's intro. There's a lot of lyrics in here, so as you're like, it's warning you, there's going to be a lot of lyrics on this album. Get ready.
Yeah.
It's basically just 4 verses too, with the kind of like the last few lines, a bit of the sort of the chorus in a way, basically, and then like the third verse kind of acts as a bridge in a way because it changes up the music a bit. And then I love that when you get to the end of the song, you're not given any time. You know right away, oh, it's a concept album because it cuts straight into it. You're being told the first part of the story, and you're not going to get any time to just sit back and enjoy that song and then wait for the next one. It goes right away. Yeah,
it does give you space. It does give you space to breathe.
yes,
that's for
and
sure.
there's way, and we can talk about that through the album too. There's spaces to make you think. And stuff,
we are.
but, yeah.
I have to say one thing I'm quite surprised at, because I keep looking back at it and keep being surprised at it. The singles, the singles that actually were released from this album was just literally only just 2 singles: Counting Out Time and Carpet Crawlers. I am very shocked that this one was never released as a single.
It feels like it sums up the album and everything as we said, so it would be perfect. Yeah.
And the song title is all over the place. It's the first thing you hear. It's
not
repeated so often.
Not too long, you would think, for radio play or anything like that. No, it would work fine. Yeah.
No. And the rhythm stays the same. It doesn't jump to anything crazy. It's actually quite a poppy song in a way.
I can see we'll get to Counting Out Time, but I can see why they want that one, because it's like, oh, it's the jokey sex song. We've got to do that one.
Well, it's a bouncy, jumpy feel and everything. Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we have to do Carpet Crawlers because it's going to sum up our entire career for the next 50 years. So.
But again, that's actually quite surprising to release that one, because it's a slow ballad, really. So again, it's a confusing thing. I can't remember I don't have the notes here right now for it, but I think there was a big discussion about what song to release as a single, and I believe Steve Hackerman mentioned it in his book that Counting Out Time was really not their first choice, but it was the record company's decision.
I was going to say it might be a record company manager.
It was a powers to be decision, a higher ups decision, So anyway,
maybe they thought it was just
we still love it.
With the catchy, because it is kind of catchy.
Well, I think that was basically it. It was as catchy, yeah. So anyway, The Lamb, as we know, has become an immense classic, complete classic. It's just one of those just those songs where you just love to hear, because it's also just a great one to sing out in concert too.
And it was the first one they trying to think, because they did it on Trick of the Tail tour, didn't they? Just to show that Phil could sing this song too.
Well, yeah, because on Trek they wanted to open with their new material, so they started off with Dance, and then the very next thing they did was like, well, last time we played here was in 1975 during the Lamb tour, blah 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 blah. So they did the Lamb Stew medley.
That's right, and it started with Lamb, didn't it? Yeah.
Which was they started with Lamb, so I thought that was a good way to do it as well. It's like, well, we were here with a new band, but don't worry, you are definitely going to get the old stuff as well. I'm going to jump right back to the previous stuff we released here. So.
And that Phil has the chops to sing it. Yeah. It doesn't have to just be Peter.
And to show that Phil can do it too, yeah. So just to clarify, we're not going to be jumping here comparing the mixes and everything. That's going to be a later episode.
I think we should leave that for the last one when we talk about the box set, because otherwise that's probably going to be 20 minutes long. I think, I actually had notes talking about the mix, and I realized because we talked so much already, it'd be better to leave that to the last one if that works. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And that gives me then a chance to listen to both of them. What's next?
What's next? Where do we go from there?
Is there something behind you, Dan? Is there something on that glass there? Is that a fly on a windshield?
Something solid forming in the air, and the wall of death is lowered in Times Square. No one seems to care. They carry on as if nothing was there. The wind is blowing harder now, blowing dust into my eyes. The dust settles on my skin, making a crust I cannot move in. And I'm hovering like a fly, waiting for the windshield on the freeway.
And it's actually we're definitely going to leave the notes here for the this video from this guy who's left the the original screens, because
Yeah.
as you see the song fading out and Fly on the Windshield is coming on next, you've got the shot of this just high street somewhere, main street, and there's this like wall that starts fading in. And I was kind of like wondering, like, what's this going on? Is something wrong with the screens? But a wall is slowly fading in, and that's where the lyrics start. There's something solid forming in the air, and I thought, whoa, mind blown.
I mean, here again, it's really
brilliant.
really strange that this never made it on any of our top 5 songs, because it really should kind of be there for what the song does just in. And it's a short song. What is it, like 3 minutes or something like that? 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah. But in a way, I don't. It's one of these weird things where I don't really see it as a song.
Right.
It's a two-parter, well, 3-parter, depending on how you see the next song as part of this song or the next one. We just got this intro, which is it's a brilliant touch, because we've gone from this beautiful, as you say, overture, and now it feels like the story is really beginning. Now, because we've had the introduction,
The intro,
we've got Rail's just like strolling along the street. I'm happy, joy, and then it's like, what's going on?
Well, I think you're almost
Something
supposed
strange
to be. The audience is supposed to be that fly on the windshield watching all this happening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It came from a group improvisation sparked by Rutherford's idea of Egyptian pharaohs going down the Nile, while Hackett compared it to Maurice Ravel's Bolero, slowly building to a crescendo.
So, okay. So, I'm sorry. So, so all that stuff you said before was completely the wrong song.
So that's what I said. You're going to have to cut that out. Yes.
Right. I thought it was. I thought when you were about to say, and Tony was saying that there's a best part of this song, which is the best moment in Genesis. I thought it was only that section you were talking about, but all this stuff with the Nile and everything.
Yes,
I was like, with the lamb. Okay, right. I see.
No, that's this song, which makes a lot of sense. Banks described the part where the entire band comes in, signifying the moment a fly hits the windshield of a car as probably the single best moment in Genesis history. Do you agree?
See, I thought Phil said that actually.
Well, I got to hear is Tony. Maybe they both said it.
Okay.
I've always known it was Tony saying it. Yeah.
Okay.
And we will. I do have it in my notes to one day do. What the heck did I call it?
Best transitions.
Transitions episode. Yes, exactly. Transitions episode. Yeah. And this will obviously be in there. We'll talk about that. But I mean, the transition and that moment. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. It's. I mean, as soon as the fly on the windshield is the perfect title of it, because even though he doesn't actually say fly on a windshield, he just says I'm hovering like a fly,
waiting for the
windshield on the freeway, and then smack.
Yeah, and I love the way it goes. He drags out the word way, and then there's a little note on the keyboard, and then it doesn't quite get quiet, but it almost gets quiet.
Yeah, and it
punches you in the face.
Yes, and and it paints that picture beautifully as it does that. It smacks it, and the fly hits the windshield. It's funny how Tony says that it's single-handedly the best Genesis moment in there. When the very the first thing I always hear when that moment hits is Steve. I don't hear a big massive Tony Banks chord kicking in. I hear Steve, but that just shows. I guess it just goes to show how passionate Tony feels about this moment.
So on this, and I don't know if it's just a thing with the new box set, because we did listen to the original mix and stuff like that too. But the first thing I hear is the bass pedal coming in that just like knocks me back.
Oh yeah. I listened to the remastered last night, and my God, that is an explosion. And definitely
wonderful.
Have it with don't listen. Yeah, don't listen to it with speakers. Have it here on headphones.
Mm-hmm. You feel it in your heart. Yeah,
and
it just comes
that
through.
That bass pedal will give your heart a kick. That's for sure.
It makes me
awesome.
Makes me think of High Fidelity when he talks about having to make the perfect mix album, and you've got to start with a high song, and then you got to kick it up a notch, is what he always says. And I think what a song too this is, that really just like raises the bar up a bit.
True. It does. It really does. Absolutely.
I was going to say, particularly with the lyrics in this album, with this song, sorry, you're being told a story here. It's not like a song, verse, song, chorus, verse, things like that, whatever. You're being told a story that you're going to listen to here, what's going on. And then things are getting weird now in with something descending on Times Square, as you said, with the wall coming down. I mean, it's setting it up for the next song, and just weird stuff is starting to happen. And strap in, it's going to be a weird
Yes. So we move on to then, which has always been arguably like, is this still part of the Windshield song, or is this officially the next piece now, which is Broadway
dead.
Melody
I don't
of
think he cares.
1974?
Echoes of the Broadway Everglades, with our mythical Madonnas still walking in their shades. Lenny Bruce declares a truce and blazes on the hand. Marshall McLuhan, casual viewing, head buried in the sand. Sirens on the rooftops wailing, but there's no ship sailing. Groucho with his movies trailing stands alone with his punchline failing.
I want to ask, how much of this? What does the song mean to you? Do you get much of this song, Dan?
Not at all. Not
The
at
lyrics.
all. I just love
Okay,
the
so
sound.
it
I
is-
just love the sound of it.
Okay, it does sound nice. I mean, it's really.
That's it.
I think I get probably about 60 to 70% of the lyrics. And it's basically a whole slew of references to music and movies of the last 30 years. And it's all just, there's Groucho Marx, there's Marshall McLuhan, there's all these different things that you know about or whatever. And then I also said here, it feels a little bit like Peter showing off his songwriting abilities with how he rhymes stuff together in this song with all these names and stuff. And you're like, how the hell did you do this? This is like impressive.
It is mighty impressive. Yeah, this guy knows his stuff basically. So, and as we know, Peter is a massive film buffer as well.
Exactly. So
as you
he's pulling
say.
up with stuff he probably knows, and yeah. But he didn't have the internet to look it up, so I guess he just had it in his head.
He just had it there. Just quickly jump back to the songwriting credits, because I think it's quite important to approach this as well. So with Fly on the Windshield, I've got here Mike Rutherford, riff chords, Tony, non-riff chords, and, well, until I say further notice, just consider Peter is always doing lyrics and melodies. That's what it always says.
Until we get to the
So,
light lies down, we don't really have to say that. Yeah.
correct.
Anything else for the song? Was that all you got? I mean, there's not really much to.
No, just as you say, very impressive how it manages to run all together.
With all the complicated lyrics, I don't feel it's really saying anything instead of just like linking weird stuff together.
No, I think it's just a good taste. A reminder once again that we are on this side of the world.
Yes, exactly. Completely. There you go. Yep. With media, music, and everything. Yeah. Well, then it ends with a nice little bit of interstitial music we get for a little bit for you to calm down and try and digest all that stuff you just got thrown at you. Yeah, it's just a little bit of again, just giving you a little bit of breathing room after everything you've gone through.
Yes, and the original album notes that I have, the original CD inlay, here it says this part here is the. People say that they argue saying, "Well, this is the track Broadway Melody of 1974." Some people say that this little music interlude here,
and that's all part of that Windshield. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
people say that.
It is a melody, isn't it? I guess.
Well, there you go. That's what I always thought about it. You see, just say, the melody of 1974.
So maybe then,
so, I don't know.
It's the fly in the windshield smashing into the windshield, but also maybe just smacking into music and movies and story of America.
Perhaps. Or the fly is just...
Or the listeners
saying,
being, bombarded by it. Yeah. Interesting.
Or maybe or persons in the car listening to the radio and reminiscing about all these things, and he's completely oblivious that his car's just killed a fly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we should move on. Let's go on to our next little song, Cuckoo Cocoon.
Wrapped up in some powdered wool, I guess I'm losing touch. Don't tell me this is dying, 'cause I ain't changed that much. The only sound is water drops. I wonder where the hell I am. Some kind of jam. Cuckoo, cocoon, have I come to do something for you? There's nothing I can recognize. This is nowhere that I've known. With no sign of life at all. I guess that I'm alone. And I feel so secure that I know this can't be real. But I feel good. Cuckoo, cocoon, have I come to do something for you?
Cuckoo, cuckoo. I come too soon for you. I have to reference, can't believe we're this far into the episode, I've not referenced them yet. I have to reference Tabletop Genesis here, where they
Ding,
pointed
ding,
out.
a new record.
Ding! That, I can't remember who it was, whether it was Tom or Mike, or maybe even Simon, saying that
Peter
this is
or Tony.
possibly Peter Gabriel's last time showing the flute in
Oh
the band.
yes, I do have that on here. Yep. I was to say about it was the first time I have the flute on it. Yeah, and it not just a little bit too. It's part of the song, and then it ends the song too, which is nice. Yeah, in a beautiful way. I've got
Correct.
here Hackett and his brother John wrote the 2 opening chords at home several years prior, though John is uncredited.
Oh, okay.
And Hackett wrote the vocal melody. And then
Yes,
basically, if you try and stick with the story, this is the next stage for Rail, where he's now stuck in this strange cocoon. And then we're going to
Correct.
go on from there with the next song. Yeah.
Oh, he actually is credited here though, John Hackett, with this the melodies, the writing credits
Oh,
on the website source. Hackett chords and bridge chords, and obviously Peter the usual, and John Hackett verse chords. I did not know that.
your verse chords, that's the music, not the
Okay, but
lyrics. But
yeah, but as you said though, it's not credited at all on the album.
on the actual album. Yeah. Right. But at
On the
least he's
actual
getting
album.
credit now here.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I can fix
Yeah,
things
that's
with
good.
that. Yeah. Nice little song.
Just if
about a strange
nice
cocoon.
little song. It's wrapped up in some powdered wool. It was interesting on the because again I've not properly managed to see 100% of the actual live footage of the band because the bastards have never officially released it or anything. But Peter is like
I was
kind
going to
of
see the musical
positioned-
box one of the Lamb, but unfortunately, I was sick that day or something, and I couldn't make the concert.
Okay, well if we find some footage somewhere. I don't know how it's done, but Peter now is basically somehow managed to wiggle his way underneath Tony's keyboards, and he's now underneath Tony there, just off to the right, left there, kind of wrapped up in what's supposed to be, I guess, this cocoon, just singing along with his top off. He's topless. He's, by the way, topless now already at this point, and of course playing the flute and these sort of things. Yeah, but it's a very bizarre thing to see, and it's like, I'm surprised Tony allowed that.
Tony absolutely loved that.
Yes, very quickly, just
Get away,
mention,
Peter! Stop it!
just to mention the flute. Just to mention the flute here, I was just stumbling across Peter and everything because it's a bit all about Peter right now with his new album and everything. I came across a wiki source saying the other pieces of music and albums that Peter has appeared on, and I had no idea about this, but Cat Stevens had an album in 1970 and had a song called Kathmandu, which features a 20-year-old Peter Gabriel on the flute.
Wow.
So look up Kathmandu by Cat Stevens,
We'll
and
link
you
it
hear
in
this
here,
flute on the left side of your on your headphones, and he's there playing the flute. Yeah, that's all he does though. Doesn't sing or anything, just plays the flute. So, and you got all these comments on YouTube saying it's Peter playing flute, a young kid Peter playing flute. Anyway, I just wanted to mention.
Meanwhile,
that.
Cat Stevens
All right,
is like,
so-
what about me?
yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure
right,
Tony
so-
hated him crawling under his keyboards, but you know Tony, he could not admit to it in any way and had to just stay.
No,
Be
of course
straight.
not. Yeah. But again, a very nice piece to calm the members down, calm their ears down before we ascend to
Set you up
utter madness.
until we enter in
Cue
the
the heartbeat.
cage.
I got sunshine in my stomach, like I just rocked my baby to sleep. I got sunshine in my stomach, but I can't keep me from creeping sleep.
another, what became, little did we know at the time, a real, true Genesis classic.
All-timer.
Which, well, I mean, to be honest, it was completely untouched until 1978 when they
You
brought it
probably
out
will
for
not
the
be
newest
surprised,
tour.
according to this, that the music for In the Cage was almost entirely written by Banks and was presented to the band only when it was nearly complete. It sounds very Tony. Banks says...
It actually says here...
What?
Yeah, go on.
Banks says that it took a lot more effort when we were structuring it and putting bits and pieces together and working out how to arrange it. You can spend hours and hours getting a piece, honing it so it sounds good, and then another piece you write in a couple minutes and it sounds just as good. I mean, that's just creativity. That's how it happens.
It says actually here that obviously Peter lyrics, but actually it says according to this the songwriting credit source, it's unclear who was responsible for the melodies.
Tony.
So, probably Tony. Yeah.
All
right.
I will say so it is one of my favorite Genesis opening lines. Well, just favorite lines really of Genesis. I got sunshine in my stomach like I just rubbed my baby to sleep. And it wasn't until I started doing the notes for this time I really thought, of course he wanted to write that because they just had a really troublesome birth, and so he's probably spending every moment he can with his new baby. Yeah.
Ooh. I wonder what came first, the actual baby or the lyrics?
Well, I would think the baby, because that was leading up to it. Yeah, I think, and then that was a lyric for the baby, I would think. And I have really say I've thought of that a lot. Having 2 kids, with each kid when they were little, I thought of that lyric a lot and made a lot to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Completely.
Um,
I mean, yeah, he's also painting the picture there about a man who's actually being able to carry a baby inside of them.
Yeah.
True.
I was gonna say it really sounds like a song that Genesis have never done before. It's complex and so different sounding.
True.
But also composed of different pieces, kind of like they usually do too. I mean, maybe it's again because Tony did most of it himself.
Well, and also here we've got a true piece of complex rhythms going on here for the first time, really, on this album, because we've had the Lamb, which is straightforward, like semi-funkish pop stuff. Find the Windshield, straight forward to the floor, quite Led Zeppelin feel this. And then Broadway and Cocoon, much simpler. Here, we've actually done a very clever thing, and no doubt this was Tony responsible for this as well. We've gone from a swing, a boom, 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 where Tony manages to transition, a very clever thing, to actually bring in a straight feel within the swing as well. Boom, 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 ba 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 ba, and it actually transitions into a straightforward
Wrong, and it's a fast
beat.
beat, isn't it? Yeah, but it's a rapid beat too, not your single.
Oh,
one.
very,
very. So
rapid
that happens
beat.
in the fourth verse. And it was just like, where did this come from? And all of a sudden, the song ratchets up a little. Yeah.
Massively. The only critique I have with this song, and it's only just what's the word? It's only just a mix thing where I don't know what the heck is going on with Phil's snare, but he's got it. Either he's using a completely different snare in this song, or maybe just because obviously the song is all about being trapped in the cage, total 100% discomfort. That maybe it was a production idea or something like that. Maybe even Brian Eno had a say in this. I don't think so. Probably not.
That was on a different song usually, but yeah.
Yeah, because Brian Eno got involved with this album.
Yep.
But Phil's snare tuning is really just there, just to dug into your brain, because it's particularly on the second part of the song when he says "in the glare of the light," where Phil starts hitting the snare, and you can hit the snare, a little bit of a drum bit here.
Yeah.
If you hit the snare at a certain point on the skin, it will really catch the tone of the skin. You see, it would actually really catch the tuning of the skin, and Phil is smacking the heck out of that. And the tone of it is just enough to really feel like a drill in your eardrum. It goes do 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 do. It's almost like an alarm bell going off. And I'm wondering, this had to have been a production thing, because that sound does not repeat at all again for the rest of the entire album. You see,
I always wonder if it is just part of the song. Now, could it have been something that hit just how he was playing it, or was it? Do you think it was a post-production thing that they were able to do?
Ooh, also, I mean, that sounds really like a particular tuning of the snare, and
he's
perhaps
knowing what he's done to the
Phil
snare,
was
and he's
playing
knowing
it.
how he's hitting
because,
it.
And he's also doing it kind of like Motown style, where he's actually hitting the snare on all 4 beats.
Which I have here. I think the only other time I was able to find that they did that was Tell Me Why, I think.
Yeah.
Which is, and it's I always feel, I think I've mentioned it before, it's tough when you do that, because you can very much risk, I feel, like turning the listener off, because it's such a constant pounding that you're like, oh, stop. But again, it works very well for the song.
And going back to Phil's true love, it's a very Motown feel too, to have snare going on all those 4 beats, you see. So yeah. Anyway, but this was one of those songs though where I heard the live version first from 3 Sides Live. And then again, I've mentioned this before on previous episodes where we bought this, our mum got us a random weird Genesis compilation album from the what's it called, the flea market. Yeah, this random album, a bunch of albums. I know what I like, the original version was on there, but suddenly it says In the Cage, and I'm like, the original version? And then you hear Peter, and then the feel was just so different, because I think the reason they brought it back was because they had now these American musicians with them, Daryl and Chester, and that's what brought it back to the stage, because Chester just brought a whole new feel to it. And I think it was Mike Rutherford or someone saying, no offense to Phil, but Chester just brought this whole new feel to it, a real good funk, New York kind of style to it. And it just opened up the song to this massive rock feel.
Much as he did with
stayed with them.
I Know What I Like. Got up 2 for that version. Again, it's a very funky feel to it. It's really cool. The way I Know What I Like starts too, even on the drums. This is obviously the next part of the story where Rail's in this cocoon and now, or cage, and now he's trying to break out of it. So this is his struggles with it. And then it kind of builds towards this keyboard solo that just blows your mind, because you've never heard him do anything like this before. I will say, I think like the first time we saw this was, or that I saw it on video back in the days before YouTube and the internet, was for the Mama Tour one, I think.
The Mama Tour, that's right. Yes.
And watching him like dance on it was just like, what are you doing?
And again, to go back to what I love about Tony Banks is he does these melodies where you can sing along to later on, and he doesn't change it like these guitar players where won't do the same solo over and over again. Tony will he'll be like, that's the melody, that's what I'm doing, I'm playing that, that's it. It's almost like you can sing, for example, you can sing Brian May's Bohemian Rhapsody solo. We all know how to sing that solo, that guitar solo, because he never changes it. Right? And yet, when I was watching like a Led Zeppelin DVD of them playing Madison Square Garden, and they're doing Stairway, I'm like, oh, here comes the famous guitar solo. Kick it off. He doesn't do the same solo. He changes it completely, Jimmy Page, and that's why.
They're like that with
that's why I'm the biggest fan of it.
Pink Floyd with "Comfortably Numb" too, with the electric sound of thunder versus Pulse.
He always starts off with that, but then ascends to something else. Same with the Brick on the Wall solo. We can all sing the Brick on the Wall solo, and then he will change a little bit as it varies on. But Tony Banks always keeps the same solo. He never does anything else.
Maybe that's part of why they've
also so memorable.
Why he works so well in the band as a stalwart, always playing it this specific way. That the rest of the band were able to work around that then and do different things because they had that solid rock in that.
There you go. Yeah, one of his greatest solos, and probably only one of 2 solos on this entire album. It's that plus the Colony of Slippermen, I'd say.
Well, there's Riding the Scree too, which is kind of a quick little one.
That's true. That's true.
And also the way like this, it comes to the end of the solo, and then he holds that note, and then the song comes back in and keeps going, but he's still holding that note. And then he starts to continue doing the solo through the next verse of the song, which was so cool. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, or maybe that's the bridge then. I'm not sure what the heck that is. But and then eventually they come back then to the original melody and everything.
And again, it's a bit like going to a musical where the hero has disappeared, right? And then comes the sort of like solo dance moment, and then comes back the hero now, costume change or whatnot. And now we get a new character introduction, Rail's brother, John.
We're secretly Rail.
Spoiler, dude, spoiler. Jeez.
Would you say I spoiled it?
You certainly did. Yeah, I might have to cut this out. So we get Royal's brother John, who's outside of the cage, and cries for help, and John says nothing and just buggers off. Yeah.
Yep. Or was it a vision?
Whilst watching him with a little
dream. Yeah.
tear of blood dribbling down his cheek.
The raindrops keep falling on my head was not in the lyrics. I don't know, maybe just improvised that, or I just didn't put it in there. But
I
it's
don't
not
know.
in the lyrics,
Yeah. Again, a little callback as well. Yeah. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Maybe that's a reference. It could be another reference to. It might just
Oh,
be that.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, 100% it is. It's a completely 100% reference to that. Of course it is.
Surprise Phil's
Anyway,
never
and then,
sung
yeah,
it
we
that
go-
way then when doing his live. Why didn't he ever do that?
And now we've gone back into the main, core of the song
Yep.
once again.
And then it ends with Rail being freed from the cage.
Yeah.
And then we have a nice little interstitial bit with some.
Yes, and hearing that on this compilation
You
album
need it,
as
yes,
well. I was like, is this still part of the song? What is this? I don't know.
But you kind of need it.
Because that was
after
back in the day.
that barrage. You could need to rest a bit.
But I didn't know
Catch your breath.
because obviously I had that compilation album came on cassette, not CD. So it's not like as if it's like, is this still track 3? Let me look. No, it's not. But I couldn't tell what it was.
Hey me, it's secretly all one track.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But a very interesting segue. Oh, well, actually, I don't know, an epilogue to this song or something like that. Again, something just to calm the listener down
definitely to bring it down
from
and everything.
this. As if Rail's just being like, woof, that was mental.
I mean,
What's
it really
next?
feels like for them to pull. Yeah, really, this really had to be dug out of the album to be used as a piece in another medley. Well, I mean, you really couldn't put it just have the song sitting on its own. Really, has to be with the medley. Yeah.
No. So then Rail's just toddling along, and then he sees in the distance. He's like, "What's that? What is that in the distance there?
Could
Looks
it be
like could it be some
parade of lifeless packaging?
lifeless package?"
It's the last great invention left to mankind. Screams a drooping lady, offering her dream dolls at less than extortionate prices. And as the notes and coins are taken out, I'm taken in to the factory floor for the grand parade of lifeless packaging ready to use. The grand parade of lifeless packaging I just need a fuse.
Now, cue the entrance of production by Brian Eno, or as they called it, Enossification.
Well, that comes later in the song. It's one of the few songs on the album where the lyrics were written first and then the music was composed to fit the theme. According to Banks, I just started playing these 2 chords, a dopey kind of riff, really. I just keep one note going through the whole thing and just change the chords underneath it, letting it build. Then what Pete did on top was kind of wild, and he didn't really make any use of the melodic content of the piece. Oh, nice diss there. But I think it works very well. And then, as you said, while mixing it, Ireland Gabriel asked Brian Eno, who was working on his album Taking Tiger Mountain with his band Strategy, to add the enossification effects. Apparently, Gabriel was a fan of Eno and believed he could enhance the adventurous aspect of the sound. But however, they didn't have any money to pay Eno.
I wanted to,
So
they did a fantastic thing where how in a way money should be like that. Instead of money existing, it's like, let me do something for you and you do something for me.
Scratch my back.
You know,
Scratch my
to pay for Eno. Eno's like, well, I do need some drums on my album. And like, all right, Phil, upstairs you go.
Now I'm wondering on the what is it album? It's QE2, I think, of Mike Oldfield. the song Taurus. Phil does drums on it. It's the opening track.
Oh,
But now I'm wondering in the back of my
Oh.
head, was that a similar deal? Do they need something? Do they? Well, this is why I'm wondering. With my crazy theory, did they borrow his tubular bells, and now they need to give something back?
Whoa.
Because there's tubular bells in one of these songs.
Wow. I mean, Phil's compilation album plays well with others. You probably can add a whole other CD there of
third
other
level
artists he's played with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was that the same year then?
No,
Phil
this
played
was
with Michael Phil? Oh, okay.
80. 78 to 80. I
Oh,
don't know which year it
okay.
was. Yeah, it was later on.
Okay, fine.
But I wonder if it was like,
Anyway.
we've borrowed your tubular bells for a few years, so let me go help you while we're in the studio together and pay it back.
Okay, perhaps, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean that was great for Phil. He got to have some more session work, and the networking door for him just opened up tons more for him.
Yeah.
As the wee
So
23
yeah,
year
going back
old.
to this song, again, it feels like another song that sounds totally different to anything you've heard on the album so far. You really can't be like,
Massively,
oh, I know what to
massively.
expect. No, you don't. You don't know what's going on. With the music and the lyrics and just everything, you're like, what's going on? It starts off with a factory whistle. Yep.
Yes, and listening to the remaster, I never knew this, but someone's actually counting in.
I think I did hear
I
that
never
too.
got that
I
before.
think, yeah.
And then I went back to the original mix. I'm like, oh, someone's counting in there. I mean, it sounds like Peter, or it could most likely be Phil. So, or it could
probably
be Tony,
Phil, yeah.
because he starts the song.
But either
starts
way,
the song.
Peter and Tony decided let's bring that up a bit so we can hear it on the remaster.
Yeah, and it says here that Tony, he's in charge of the chords. He did the chords for the song. Yeah,
It's
And it
another
just
song
builds
that
and builds.
kind of builds exactly to a crescendo again.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it means. Is this Rail viewing the grand parade, or is he being part of it? Is it something to do with commercialization and stuff? And I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure it's something to do with that. You see, commercialism, that kind of stuff, and he's just being thrown into it and just watching it passing him by. And
But again, I feel it ties
going
into
back
the America storyline too of
yes,
mass marketing.
and going
all that
back to
stuff,
the screen, the YouTube video with the screens, you just see this one character who, funny enough, looks like Phil, and just as he keeps sort of moving to the left, more and more bizarre looking characters of all sorts of commercialism and everything, all are following behind him. Before you know it, the entire three screens are completely full of all these crazy characters. And then suddenly you just see the entire thing being just like screwed up with these pair of hands.
Oh, wow.
Just like
sounds
this,
fancy.
and just turn into nothing as the song breaks out with this, ends with this crazy, we can only presume, Mike killing his bass guitar
Yeah.
with his plectrum or something.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, it's just really cool. And that ends.
Which I still love.
First side.
Which I still love to this day. Yeah, that's true. It ends the first side of the LP. That's right.
And you
yeah.
just sit back and you go, what the hell did I just listen to?
And that's actually, and just like when they performed it live, that's when Peter would finally then start
part.
speaking again.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
He
Yeah.
mentions he talks at the beginning of the Lamb, and then nothing is said until bam, there. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say maybe it's the
Again.
end of the first act or something, or the first chunk, yeah.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Which then sets up into the next song, Back in NYC.
Which you then think to yourself, is this in the cage again?
I mean,
Is
that's
this
what's
the
so
same-
great. are we going to start Act 2? Well, we're going to do this same beat. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait, I've already heard this. Oh, okay. I know what's that. And then the drums come in, then it changes you again.
And no surprise that Mike is
Involved.
came up with the chords for this song. Actually, sorry, the verse chords. The verse chords? Well, then, if it's
Well,
the
it
verse
says
chords,
here,
it could be
in this song,
chorus
Genesis
chords.
adopt a more aggressive sound than before, with Rutherford playing a 6-string micro frets bass, whatever the heck that is. Probably some instrument they borrowed. Rutherford described Back in New York City as a group composition which emerged from improvisations, while Banks said it was written entirely by Rutherford and himself, with Rutherford writing the main parts.
Main part, yeah, and Tony does the non-verse chords, because I guess there's not really a chorus in the song. I mean, you could presume it's the Back in New York City.
Yeah. The way I kind of interpret it is it's kind of Rail telling his history, his story of his, growing up and the things he's done and stuff like that. I don't know if it was again on particularly on this particular mix or whatever, but there's piano chords underneath everything too.
Again, listening to the remastered and the original last night, I adore when that piano comes in on the
so
second
cool. I never caught that before.
chorus
It's just like
section. Whatever.
so nice.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so beautiful. Just as this extra layer,
And it's like a full
underneath.
piano. It's not like mini piano or a keyboard sound. It's great. Yeah.
So is this Rail that he's managed to somehow not gone back to New York City, but he's seeing references that reminds him of New York City? Is that
maybe,
what he's
or
doing
he's just
right
sharing
now?
his story of what his past is. He's giving his backstory.
Because he's saying, I see traces and faces
Yeah.
of all. So yeah. What's very special about this song is when Genesis did have their reunion with Peter to save his financial butt from with WOMAD, that the story goes that Peter was rolled out on stage in a coffin and comes out of the coffin to show that he's back from the dead, and you hear this doom 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 doom,
Wow.
and then I see traces and faces of all. And I love going back to that because the crowd goes absolutely nuts.
I see faces and faces and
When the band finally kicks in and the crowd is just like they're saying, "This has really happened. Peter's back with
real,
Genesis.
yeah.
This is really happening." And I do
That's
know
the
that when
last time.
Genesis were Genesis were touring Duke, when they played Madison Square Garden, up to this point they had always opened with Deep in the Motherlode with that same heartbeat, do do
Right.
do do. But then when they played at Madison Square Garden, they encored with Back in New York City.
Cool.
Yeah. And rumor has it that one of those dates, Peter did join them on stage for that as well.
Well,
believe.
and I was saying,
Or
of course,
Find
with
What I Like,
the
one of
Milton
those.
Keynes concert, they can say whatever they want because there's no video footage to prove it. And this is the one that Peter actually performed this live with his solo stuff, didn't he? A bit.
So again, this is gonna go back to my little true or false thing.
I ruined it again, did I?
True. Is it true or false? Yeah, saying Peter never played any Genesis songs ever again after he left the band, and it's like, no, that's false.
False.
He did add this. He also encored even with the Lamb as well on some of his shows as well. Yeah, but in his very early tours, where I think just he literally had no other material to perform, so he just like, I'll just throw some Genesis stuff in.
And there was the tour he did, how many years ago it was, with Sting. I can't remember what it's called.
Yes, the
I was
Rock
like,
Paper
my
Scissors tour.
Earbuds just ran out.
Oh no!
Got everything.
Dum,
When did they die? Okay. Sorry about that. My headphones just died, so I couldn't hear anything that Dan was saying. Was it important?
What's
So
that?
that's what I was talking about. The Sting tour he did with him.
Yes. So yeah. So they did
right.
rock paper scissors tour. Sting and Peter Gabriel singing each other's songs, sharing each other's songs, and everything. All up until the very last nights, they would do "Messenger in the Bottle," but leading into "Messenger in the Bottle," Sting would sing "Dancing with the Moon at Night" intro, solely intro. Yes, but the last night of the tour. And I believe this is when Brexit just took place. Peter then wanted to say, well, we're buggered. And the last night of the tour, and it's online, and I still watch it to this day, and I still get insane goosebumps. I even had to show it to my children saying, girls, you have to watch this. Okay, this is something they said would never happen. And Peter sings Dancing with the Moonlit Night. And I don't think people, a lot of people in that crowd are realizing how
historical,
what a golden gem this is. Yeah. They're saying like, wow, Peter's singing that Sting track. That's amazing. Cool.
But meanwhile, a billion Genesis fans are going.
I still go back to it. Yeah! Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's commented as well, saying, he's singing
I couldn't believe it when it happened,
it. But yeah, so, because that's also...
So we're good with, we're all done with New York City? We're ready to go out of New York City now?
Yes, I need a shave. My heart needs a shave.
Well, mine doesn't because I have a hairless heart.
Now,
So did Peter write the lyrics to this one?
Yes, he did. Yes. So what's interesting is up until here, all the others are without inverted commas, but for some reason in this one it says Steve Hackett verses and Tony Banks choruses. I'm guessing because there's no melody. There's no lyrics. So they're just saying, well, this section here, which sounds like a verse, that's Steve. And this part here, which is the melody, that's Tony doing that.
I've got here, originated from a guitar melody from Hackett, for which Banks composed the other parts as a backing. Banks was fond of the piece and was dismayed when it was titled Hairless Heart, in reference to a lyric from back in New York City commenting, shaving hair off the heart is a horrible concept.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like a Lick My Love pub situation.
Well, it's a bit like with the with the Lamia, where Peter says "Silent Soul" and "Empty Boats."
Yeah,
in the very next track, it's
referencing it.
that.
Yeah.
Now, when you want to know what's mind blowing with the screens that are happening on the stage at this point,
What?
there's a heart. It's covered in sheep wool, and it's just picture by picture. It's slowly being shaved off. And by the end of the song,
With a razor
it's a
or
hairless
just
heart.
disappearing?
With a razor, yeah, an actual razor, yeah, like one of those, not like those shavers that we know for today, but those actual classic, like
straight
barber
razor.
razors,
Straight razor.
straight razor, yeah.
These slit throats with.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Sleepy
Sweeney
Hollow,
Todd
not
did.
Sleepy Hollow. What's the Sweeney
Sweeney
Todd?
Todd.
Sleepy Hollow. Sweeney Todd style, yeah. And by the end of the song, the heart is hairless. Yeah.
Well, regardless of all that,
a very,
it is
very nice
beautiful
piece.
song. Beautiful song, yeah.
Hackett completely agrees, hence why he has toured it many, many times. Yeah,
Oh,
himself on his solo tours. Yes.
beautiful crescendo,
Including his
very
acoustic
anthemic.
shows.
I thought, yeah, quite simple compared with all the songs we've had so far. I think we kind of needed it after the explosiveness
Oh, yeah.
back in New York City. Yeah,
we also needed like another instrumental, a little breakaway from the words to just
Yeah, because you've just
let
had
it
this whole
absorb.
history of rail thrown on you, and you need to process it. Yeah.
Well, I felt like I needed a break after Grand Parade because that was a lot of lyrics to listen to, and suddenly we got back in New York City. We're gonna like take a trip down memory lane with rail. So
The way it ends with the going into the bass line, and you're like, "Ooh, what's coming?"
yes, yeah, and suddenly it's a massive uplift, at least melody wise and everything. We've gone to like, hot, hairless, and then ching. Hey, it's time to get horny. Yeah.
With counting out time.
Counting out time, got the whole thing down by numbers. All those numbers give me guidance. Oh Lord, I need that now. The day of judgment's come, and you can bet that I've been resting for this testing, digesting every word the experts say. Erogenous souls, I love you. Without you, what would it all do? Found a girl I wanted to date. Thought I'd better get it straight. Wait 5 foot before it's too late. Don't leave nothing to fate. I studied every line, every page in the book. Now I've got the real thing here. Gonna take a look. Take a look.
Yes, and I will quote here what the songwriting credits says. Peter Gabriel, everything.
Yes, so it says here, a rare instance of a Genesis song not written collaboratively. Counting Out Time was written entirely by Gabriel before the album was conceived. Hackett's guitar solo was
right.
filtered through an EMS synth hi-fi guitar synthesizer. Because it has the guitar solo is very weird. It's a very weird solo.
Oh, so that's Steve doing that.
Yeah, it's not a keyboard solo. Did you think it was a keyboard solo? Yeah.
Oh, that's actually true. Yeah. Just realizing that. Yeah, listening to the remaster version as well, particularly, it's like, oh yeah, that's
It's very weird.
now. If you want to feel awkward, like you're sitting as Q. What's her name from Tabletop? Former host.
Stacy.
Now, to quote what Stacy says, when you feel awkward when you're watching a movie with your parents and a sex scene starts to happen, if you watch the screens on this song, it's one of those like, oh God, because obviously lyrics like erogenous zones and things like this are mentioned in the song, and you actually have like animations of the female body and little fingers just
it's like an anatomy
pointing
book.
in, actual areas, and it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's very like, wow, this really is about obviously it's about.
What it is about. What did Stacy call she had something, a bone or something? I can't remember what it was referring to in certain episodes.
Well, this is definitely the bonus song,
exactly.
for sure,
Yeah.
I mean, this says, to unzip, zip, zippy, whoopee!
Is it about Rail's first sexual encounter?
I guess so.
One of his still part of his life, story that he's telling. There's a little bit after, or I can't remember if it's the beginning of this guitar solo or the end where I think Peter says, "Put it away, Mr. Guitar."
Oh, is that what he says?
I listened really closely this time. I think that's what he says, which kind of is a little innuendo joke there. Yeah, put it away, Mr. Guitar.
Okay.
With the last line, which is "Without you backing handkinds through the blues," I think that might be about masturbation. That's what I'm guessing. Because the book is not working and he's not going to get anything.
And of course, then we have all the sounds of. I mean, maybe it's a little. It could be a little like draw. What's it called? What's it called? Drawback? No, what's it called? Callback. when Peter says, the first night that he was in like Charterhouse, he just got memories of kids either crying themselves to sleep or masturbating themselves to sleep. He said, so it could be a little callback to that as well. Yeah. So, but this actually got me thinking though. So, as you said, this is most likely Rail's first encounter. So, how old is Rail supposed to be? Like late teenager? I feel like 18 he was supposed to be at
I
this
think
time,
something like that. Yeah, 18, 19,
Yeah.
I feel. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty young.
Okay, then. So he was late to the game. Okay, right. Okay.
So it's time to
There is lambs
carpet crawl, shall we?
get heat. The wool is soft and warm, gives off some kind of heat. A salamander scurries into flame to be destroyed. Imaginary creatures are trapped in birth on celluloid. The fleas cling to the golden fleece, hoping they'll find peace. Each thought and gesture a caught in celluloid. There's no hiding in memory, there's no room to avoid. The crawlers cover the floor in the red ochre corridor. For my second sight of people, they've more lifeblood than before. They're moving in time to a heavy wooden door, where the needle's eye is winking, closing on the core. The carpet crawlers, heed their callers. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out. There's only one direction in the faces that I see. It's upward to the ceiling, where the chamber's said to be. Like the forest fight for sunlight that takes root in every tree. They are pulled up by the magnet, believing they're free. The carpet crawlers, heed their callers. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out. We gotta get in to get out.
Again, we've got. I've never really thought about this. Now we've come to one of Genesis, the third of one of Genesis' most classic songs. We've got Lamb, Cage, now Carpet Crawlers. So a really amazing first
It's an
side.
important album. It's an important album in their
Yeah.
history. Yeah.
Well, this, I mean, it's hard to believe like how important this song was become in their catalog. It was just a song, which let's see, Tony chords and Mike verse and chorus chords. So it's a Mike and Tony
Yeah.
music.
It was developed at a
song.
time when Gabriel had written some lyrics, but no music had been written for them. Yeah, Banks and Rutherford put together a chord sequence in D, E minor, and F sharp minor, with a roll from the drums flowing through. Gabriel spent hours and hours on an out-of-tune piano at home developing the song, and his wife recorded his fondness for the track. The beginning of the song reprises Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which is very nice. Banks said, Mike and I just sat down and we came up with chord sequences in the room. Quite a simple chord sequence, quite repetitive. And then Peter sort of warbled over the top, went off, and spent ages chiseling away to come up with one of the best melodies. The form and mood of the song was established pretty spontaneously from my jamming around with Mike, which is interesting because a lot of the other pieces on there were very highly worked out. So it sounds like a pretty simple song that came together that's become arguably the most important song or the second most important song in Genesis history.
And you said those, so they were walking around the D minor chord. You said
It's a chord sequence of D, E minor, and F sharp. minor.
Oh, so not okay. So E minor, not D minor, which of course we know is the saddest of all keys. Yes.
He kept it happy. He didn't make it minor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I like to point out that a few weeks back, I might have mentioned this, that when I was performing at this open mic, me and this other found out Genesis fanatic, we said let's do a song together at the open mic, and we performed Carpet Crawlers together. The open mic that just occurred last Friday, we had friends of ours visiting out of town. Anyway, the open mic was kind of coming to an end, and the host was like, okay, what we got now? And he just called me and the other guy, Itai, out. And he says, Itai, Dan, Carpet Crawlers, Genesis, do it. Come on. And he says, come on. Gotta get in to get out. And this other guy, ironically, his name is Tony, came over to me and he said, like, you gotta do that song. Gotta get in to get out. Because both of them, when we did that song last time, they were like, who was that band? It's like, it's from Genesis. Are you kidding me? I've never heard that song. It sounds amazing. And so they talked us into performing the song again. Yeah.
So you
and
did it
like,
again.
thank you,
Nice.
guys.
Nice.
So yeah, we did
Nice.
it again.
Nice. After the goofiness, it feels like of the last song, you kind of need something special
completely.
and nice. Yeah. But there are some crazy lyrics here.
I feel like Phil Collins is now saying, like,
A serious song now.
and we have, Carpet Crawlers. But yeah, with very twisted lyrics. Even watching that video of the screens showing carpet and stuff, still didn't get what the heck was going
Well, I
on.
say, we're now moving back to Rail Story, moving along with these crawlers. We've got to get in to get out, keep moving forward, I guess, keep going.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
give up
yeah,
now.
yeah.
All the weird stuff I've seen, I'm not going to go back, we're going to go forward. I did get the crawlers are looking up to the ceiling where the chamber is. And then it ends that he goes through a door and finds the bottom of a staircase that leads up to the chamber, is what I thought it meant. Then he goes up to the chamber, and that's when we get to the next song. That's how I think I got from it. Where the rest of the carpet
Yes.
crawlers went after that, I don't know.
I don't think we want to know.
Okay,
So-
we'll just move on to this strange chamber where there are 32 doors.
Good lord.
At the top of the stairs, there's hundreds of people running around to all the doors. They try to find themselves an audience. Their deductions need applause. The rich man stands in front of me. The poor man behind my back. They believe they can control the game, but the juggler holds another pack. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust.
Gabriel says, I think there's only 5 songs on the album that I didn't do the melody of. Okay, full of yourself, yeah. And there were some songs like Chamber that were sort of 100% my end. What have we got down there?
Yeah, quite a lot actually. So apart from his usual lyrics and melodies, it says also he did verse and chorus chords. Steve, intro / bridge chords and themes. And of course Tony also intro, bridge chords and themes. So it's like he and Hackett, he and Steve.
I
had a
really
big
love the beginning
hand
of
on
this song with the guitar. It is
Yes.
just gorgeous. It's so moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it instantly, it's a very sort of like ominous progression and sound as well, where it's like, oh, something odd is happening again. Because like Carpet Crawlers is such a almost like positive melodies to say. It's like we just got to keep moving forward and everything. And suddenly Chamber is like, uh-oh, weirdness is
Very
happening once again.
confused and messy and complicated. Yeah.
And I believe Hackett has been quoted saying this is one of his favorite Genesis songs, and he does.
Has he? He does.
He does like playing this song. He does like playing this song as well live. And when he did do his Genesis Revisited sequel album, he actually opened the entire double album with this song. Yeah.
This is the. I'm not going to talk.
Drink some water. You should drink some champagne. That's what you need.
This is the song that has Tubular Bells in it. So this is the ones where I wonder if he borrowed them off Mike Oldfield. So if you listen to the background, it has some Tubular Bells. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listen for it next time. Yeah. So from the story, what I got was Rail's at the top of the stairs and sees lots of people running around to these 32 doors, and he's describing these different people. And he's looking for the right person to take him through the right door. But every door he goes through with them, it just brings him back into the chamber. So it's the wrong door, and he's getting more and more scared. So he needs to find his own way. What I liked again with the song is that every verse, the music is slightly different. Like as we go into the next verse, it's a little change and stuff, which keeps it very interesting. Harmonizing and echoey effects on his voice. And then it kind of ends in an unusual way where Rail doesn't really get out. He's still stuck in the chamber, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
it's contagious.
And quite a, and in a way, a bit of a, what's it called?
Anticlimactic?
No, therapeutical song, where it's almost like, where it's almost to mean something where, you can see yourself living your life in a complete loop, and you feel like, well, I'm going to take this next step then to get somewhere, and it's like, but then suddenly you're realizing it's almost like I have my New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolutions are right through this door here. You walk through the door, you're right back to where you started, doing the exact same things over and over again. So
that's pretty brilliant. Actually, I think you're exactly right there. That's great. I like that.
And it does really finish that way too, and anticlimactic as you said, and then of course the very first lyric on the next side of the album is the chamber was in confusion.
It ends very beautifully too, with a little trilling bit on the piano from Tony, which is very nice, which they don't really ever do much.
Oh yeah. I mean, it does end quite almost suddenly. Yeah. Which maybe that was the whole point. It's like, oh, we're going to go somewhere else? Nope, we're back to where we are started again. So
maybe, yeah. That ends the first LP, the first album, first disc, which is kind of a surprise ending. It's not a super happy, oh, everything's good now. It's like, well, nope, didn't end so great. What's going to happen now? You're back to where you started, maybe? Yeah.
Well, again, it's a brilliant ending to the first act of the play, where we're ending on a climax. We're like, oh, he's going to get out? Let's find out. Tune in next time. Or tune in next week. Or, ladies and gentlemen, we will now...
Take the record off, put the next one on.
ladies and gentlemen, we now have a 15-minute intermission.
While you try and think about all the music you just heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and you wonder what's going to happen next. So yeah, that wraps up then this episode. So for those of you who might be so anxiously anticipating the drum bit, which I guess it's been a while since we've done that, as obviously we're only halfway through this album, if it's all right with you listeners, I'm going to leave the drum bit to go into until the end of the next episode. The next album.
It makes sense. The end of the album that way. Until that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you want favorite songs, or was that for?
Well, I mean, I was gonna ask the big two questions, saying like favorite side of an album and favorite songs of the album. But if we had to choose now, do we have a favorite song from this first side of this album?
You go first.
So it's interesting. I felt like I would originally, from nostalgic purposes, would have just jumped straight to Carpet Crawlers. But again, if I wanted to really dig deeper into that and just be like, come on, think about Genesis as the band, the sound, and everything, then probably the most remarkable piece on this in terms of variety, dynamics, intelligent way of writing music and everything. Yeah, it would have to be In the Cage for me.
So here's the proposition I'm going to suggest. We do this every each episode where we can pick our favorite song of the side or album we've listened, disc we've listened to, and then we get to still pick a favorite song of the whole album at that point.
Mm-hmm.
How does that sound? So that way I can
Great.
say I think I'm going to go right at this point with Chamber of 32 Doors. This time, really like it. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. It might change next time when I go back, but I think just playing it in my head. I mean, it's hard because there's so many. It's more like I can say songs I don't care as much for, but I still really like.
Sure.
Back in New York City or Grand Parade. But it's still like I still love those songs, but I like the other ones even more. Sort of thing. It's really hard to just pick one of this really strong first LP. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know how familiar you are with any of Steve Hackett's solo material, particularly his Genesis Revisited albums. But on his Genesis Revisited 2, which is a double album, even though it starts with Chamber, yeah, even though it starts with Chamber, somewhere in there there's an extra track as well, which to me I think starts the album off in a much better way, and it's actually Ray Wilson with Steve doing Carpet Crawlers. So he does a version of Carpet Crawlers, and Ray Wilson is singing it.
I think I have heard that one. Yeah.
It's it's beautifully done, and I think that's a great start to the album. I think in a better way, because obviously it's exact same song numbers going from one to the other.
Do you mean the start for Lamb or the start for Steve Hackett's album?
Steve Hackett's album.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant put the start for Lamb.
No, not for this. Not for this album. God no.
No. I want Carpet Crawlers as the first track, and I want a kid that hasn't even been born yet to sing it. Okay. All right, sure.
Yes. And then he's born through a cocoon, but then he dies on a windshield.
Right. I think we're starting to lose our minds a little here, so it's time to bring this to a close.
I'm not surprised. If you don't lose your mind after this album, you have no soul. All right. Okay, so you're with Chamber. I'm on Cage. Good. All right, let's see where we stand next time. All right. Well, people, we thank you very much for tuning in, and we very much look forward to discussing the next part of this episode, this album, going on from
Lily White to It.
Lily White It. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lit it. Smashing words.
Yes, let us know what you think your favorite song on this particular album is. Any anecdotes you want to share about the album, or anything you think we might have missed in covering, be sure to comment. Let us know. We'll be happy to hear it.
And of course, we'd love to hear any trivia you have at all whatsoever. Whether you think we would know it or not, doesn't matter. Just throw it this way to do with this album completely, because we just can't get enough. Of course.
Yeah, not enough Genesis.
All right.
It's time for you to finish that bottle of champagne and me to get going.
It's time. Yeah, it's time to get out of this episode.
Okay.
Where we got in, it's time to get out.
Oh, okay. Now I see what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah. It's time to get out of my, thankfully, one door that I have here. I've got one door here, so yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good. We'll catch you soon again with, probably, I don't know if this will be out before. No, it won't be out before Peter Gabriel's next song. So you probably heard Peter Gabriel's new song at this point, and we've talked about it. So you either get another Peter Gabriel song after this, or another Lamb episode. But we'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon either way. Very, very soon. Much more content. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next time.
Me and Virgil chop some wood, but we stop our swinging just to listen to a crying.
Thank you for listening to Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you can get new episodes as soon as they're released. Feel free to rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to mention us to your Genesis friends so you can agree or disagree with what we talked about on the show. Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast, is edited by Dan Telander and produced and hosted by Dan Telander, aka me, and Alex C. Telander, aka Virgil. If you'd like to reach us to let us know what you thought about this episode, or if you wanted to correct something we were very wrong about, you can reach us at meandvirgilpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Looking for someone.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok under the handle meandvirgilpod for announcements and info about the show, as well as anything else we think you'd be interested in related to all things Genesis. For now, thanks again for listening. We really appreciate it, and see you on the next episode of Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast.
Well, me and Virgil, we beat the desert, riding fast and riding hard. We hit the city, the past behind us, so we raised some hell. We had some fun, and to this day, I can hear my saying to me, "You're a big boy now."
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Don't sound like a
Okay,
mad
now
at
do all
all.
that over again. Yes.
I'll do my best, not one of us impressions.
Some of the songs on this album kind of make you want to do crazy stuff. And then we'll talk about the box set. But what the heck did I write there? Oh no. I didn't finish the notes right. What did I write? Story of the album. No, that's supposed to be okay. So let's say the story of the album. I'm not sure why what I meant exactly by that.
Wait, you broke up there. You're frozen. You're done.
Last breakup.
It's your feet.
It isn't a breakup song.
It's because the first thing I don't
I'll
hear
go for it
is a
again.
big
So that
Tony
first
Bank.
movement.
God, this is annoying.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Me and Virgil. No, so it's the rock paper scissors tour.
Earbuds just ran out.
Oh no!
God, I think.
Dum,
Why did they die?
Just drink. Surprisingly good. Well, that's going to be a very interesting editing job. Suddenly you've gone from white earphones to suddenly ping.